Hey guys, it's Dane at ZIMM'S Guitars. Unboxing video today. Grab a razor knife. Let's cut this thing open. Let's see what's in here. Alright, so cool guitar. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I got Paul down here with me today.
What is this? What was this? What did you buy?
Let's open it up.
All right.
And I didn't buy this guitar. You know, I have friends. Fortunately, I have guys that come in here, they watch the channel, and they're like, hey, Dane, do a video on this thing. And I'm like, well, okay.
Now,
okay.
what is this called?
The box looks like Goldland.
This isn't a Goldland guitar? What is this guitar?
Well, we'll find out after we get her opened here.
All right. Well, it was well packed, whatever it was.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, do me a favor and cut those right here. Cut these right here.
Cut those off?
Yeah, let's get these right here. There we go. Okay.
Who cares? We don't need that. All right. It looks to be a Les Paul style.
It does seem like it's packed in here real nice. So
Yeah.
let me show them this.
Good packing job.
Look at that. They got a little styrofoam mold.
Which is good. You hang on to that stuff because if you ever want to ship, you know, a guitar somewhere else, that's cut for a Les Paul.
Yeah.
Because that's what this is. This is definitely a Les Paul style guitar. Whatever it is. It is a Firefly.
Let me get the camera in here a little
No.
bit closer
We'll do
so
this.
we can. Okay, a little bit closer. Let's try to get a good.
I ripped the styrofoam. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm a bad guy.
All right.
So here you go. It's a Firefly, somewhat desert burst, somewhat tobacco burst, Les Paul style,
Firefly Classic.
set neck, Firefly Classic.
Now these can be bought on the site is called Guitar Gardens, and they don't have very many of them. They're hard to kind of come by, but if you go on Guitar Gardens, I'll try to leave a link down in the description. Guitar Garden sells these things. It's missing its little.
I'm checking the box.
Okay.
It may not have been packed with a good guitar company, and maybe they are or they aren't. But a decent guitar company will take the pickup switch off because in shipping sometimes they can get broken and cracked. So my guess is there it is.
Yeah. So your
The
first
pickup tip.
impression is this is a decent guitar.
Well, I think it's a decent. It was packed smart because these tips tend to get cracked or broken, and they can also screw up the toggle switch.
Okay.
So a decent guitar company will pack it, will take that tip off, or they'll pack a little styrofoam over the tip here so that the toggle switch can't move around. But there you go, there's your tip. Just the tip, just for a second.
So the Sunburst Firefly Lp, this was delivered to the house for $209.96.
Now, where are these made? Do we know? Hang on.
It's Chinese guitar.
Made in China. It says China on the back here.
Uh,
On a little sticker on top of the pickup cavity. I mean the volume control cavity. It's
So-
made in China.
So just by looking over it right now, what would you say do you see any scratches or scrapes or scuffs or?
Well, everything is covered in plastic, which is cool. Like a lot of these Chinese guitars won't have it, but like the pick guard, the pickups, everything is covered in plastic. It's got like your regular Tune-O-Matic style bridge. Obviously, it's a cast bridge here.
Here, let's do this for a second, Paul.
You know what? The binding on it and stuff. The
Look at
binding
that
on it
thing
looks
right
really
there.
well done.
Okay, so just sort of up close on this thing.
The binding looks. I mean, there's a little bit of a finish, visible finish thing here, but it's not. You can't feel it, but you can see as the light hits it a certain way. It looks like it's a little bit of a glitch, but the binding looks pretty good. The frets are over, so the binding doesn't go over the fret nibs. That said, there is no sprout on this. I don't know. Yeah,
Not too bad, huh?
no, there's no sprout on these at all. I mean, a little bit right in here. That one there's a little, but I don't know what these frets are. They're awful shiny. The neck inlays are
At this price, I could not see how that could be stainless steel frets. So
No,
I'm gonna
there's no
guess
way.
it's not. Right.
No, there's no way. You know, the inlays are what you would expect on a $200 Chinese guitar.
Trapezoid inlays.
Yeah, they're, you know, pearloid
Better
plastic.
than the dots.
Better than the dots. You can see with some of the finish here in the neck, it's not exactly as tight. But again, you're paying $200 for a guitar.
What would you think the wood is in that fretboard? Is it some sort of like a Palfaro or?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a rosewood substitute. It's a little discolored here. Doesn't feel very thick. Feels like it could be a laminate of some sort. You know what I mean? Like you can feel if you scratch it, it doesn't.
What about the nut on this thing? How's it look?
Plastic, but I mean it's cut pretty nice, all things considered.
You think it's plastic or maybe a Graph Tech of some sort?
No, it's plastic.
Looks like it's cut nicely.
It's cut all right. I mean, it's a plastic. It's a $200 guitar. It's cut. The action's not bad.
Yeah.
You know.
Uh-huh.
Headstock inlay is nice. I mean, it's the neck is straight, which is always a plus when you're buying a brand new guitar.
Right.
But even you know, like the finish work, Chinese guitars have come a long way. Like
They have, huh?
the way this stuff is all, that used to be really, really sloppy. And this is not sloppy. The angle is similar to an Epiphone, so I'm guessing 12 or 14 degrees.
Okay. Where some of the old Gibsons were 17.
17 is the proper angle for an American Gibson.
Right.
And Epiphone, I don't know if the new Epiphones have gone to 17, but they were 14.
Okay.
So this is the same angle as an Epiphone.
So would you compare this to like an Epiphone? Is it comparable?
Well, I mean, it's comparable to a Chinese Epiphone. I wouldn't know until we play it. We won't know until it plays. But as far as fit and finish goes, I mean, the bridge is clearly, you know, mass-produced tailpiece. But you know,
Imported.
if it does, it's all imported stuff. But if it does what it's supposed to do, you know, I mean, the pots are in straight. Your volume, you know, your volume knobs don't scrape or anything.
Let's do this. Let me grab a Phillips screwdriver. We'll take that back cavity cover off. Okay,
right,
so we
cool.
got the screws out of here. It's got a little sticker on right there that says "Made in China." At least they don't hide that.
Well,
I mean, you see times where they put that in underneath, right?
yeah, it's there. Unless this was put on backwards. No, it wasn't. Look at that, fake orange drops.
You think they're fake?
Yeah, well.
Well, you know, there's orange drops in there. There's good size, you know, potentiometers in there. They're not using those little tiny ones.
The cavity is actually cleaner than I've seen other Chinese guitars. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
You know, it's cut. It's cut relatively
What is
nice.
this? Oh, there's a little piece of like foam.
Yeah, to keep it from. That's actually pretty nice
That's not bad, huh?
to keep this thing.
Solder joints look okay.
Yeah, I mean it's clean. Those can't be orange drops.
Well, honestly, man, an orange drop is like 12 cents to make one or something.
Yeah, but you know,
Yeah.
you're gonna put that in a $200 guitar.
They obviously they did.
All right.
They're trying to make a name and a reputation for themselves, I guess. That looks good. All right, so at $200, how do you think they're making a profit on this stuff?
Well, you were talking about earlier. Some of the components are cheaper to make than they used to be. You know, cost and stuff like that. I mean, this stuff here is just quick. You know, cast iron and just bang them out. You can bang on 1 million of them at a time.
Couple bucks a piece.
Yeah, I mean, and this obviously it's a veneer. You know, it's China, so let's be honest with you. The way the labor situation is over there is probably not. It's not a lucrative business. Look, building guitars overall,
Right.
people that build guitars, people on the manufacturing, on the assembly line, are
Right.
not getting rich.
Right.
So I'm guessing Chinese labor, cheap
But
manufacturing.
they're making a name out of selling them this cheap, so everybody's buying these things. The name Firefly, it's getting out there. People are starting to, there's some name recognition now.
Well, it's like, remember Harley Benton a couple of years ago? Harley Benton were cheap guitars, and then all of a sudden they got a decent reputation. People started buying them.
right.
You know, they're not the greatest guitar in the world, but your return on investment on them seems to be okay. I mean, the good part about this is no matter what you do, you've got a good palette to throw some stuff onto. I mean, the tuners Their tuners are, you know, Grover knockoffs, clearly Grover knockoffs.
Uh-huh.
So if you wanted to build this guitar and you had somebody you wanted to cut whatever species of mahogany this is, you can't get, I don't think you can get a cut mahogany body with a set neck for $200. So let's assume that the body is mahogany and not plywood. You know, we looked inside, it was painted, so we don't know exactly what it is, but let's assume that whatever it is, I mean, this is a good starter guitar. You know, let's face it, your kid wants to play the guitar that Slash is playing. You know what I mean? But you're not going to pay $3 grand for a Slash guitar.
What do you estimate the weight of this thing is?
I don't know, 8 pounds? 7, 8 pounds?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like a 13-pound.
I mean, it's not. It's not routed
Or chambered or
that's
anything.
chambered or anything. That's a solid guitar.
Yeah.
But is it solid plywood? Maybe. Who cares? $200. I mean, you get this thing. Maybe you got a basket case somewhere. Maybe you had an Epiphone. All right, and you had a headstock snap. The headstock snaps on your Epiphone. And how much is a headstock job on your Epiphone versus, you know, muling everything on the Epiphone over here? And now you've got a guitar that you can take to a jam night or everything like that. You don't mind if it gets beat up. You know, nobody wants to take their Slash Les Paul out to a jam night or take it out to a buddy's house and have some moron knock it over.
Right.
So, you know,
hey, let
$200.
me get my ohm meter and let's ohm out these pickups and see what they come out at.
That's what you want to do.
All right, so let me see if I can do that. Let's put it up into the neck position. And it ohms out. Oh,
What should this ohm out at for a decent pickup?
I would say maybe in the 7, 8 neighborhood.
All right. So it should be 7 or 8 ohms on that neck pickup right here, which we don't know. We didn't pull the pickups, but we're going to guess they're Chinese, obviously Chinese knockoff pickups. But you know what? If it's wound out and it ohms out the right way, I'm going to zero that thing out.
And the volume's up.
Yes, that probably helps.
Turn everything all the way up. There it is, 7.86 in the neck.
That's not bad.
Knock it down to the bridge, and this should
Now, what
be
should that be?
9, 8, 8.5.
8.5? Let's see. 9.6.
That's good.
So it's going to have some juice to it.
Yeah.
It's going to have some decent output on it. You know, the only thing left to do for you to do is plug this thing in and play it now.
I know, right? That's the scary part. Man.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
We'll take time out. We'll get this thing in tune and then see what it does.
So you tuned it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's tuned and it holds a tune relatively good. We're seeing. Holds a tune pretty good. The tuners are smooth. They're Grover knockoffs, but they're tight. You know what I mean? They seem to hold the tune nice. We're in the treble position, which we said was like almost 9.7 ohms output.
Right.
And it's got a. So it's got a little, and you can roll the tone off and it muds up a little bit.
So you maybe want to trade me that Ace Frehley Gibson you got for it?
No, I do not. So it
What
rolled.
about that Kramer Pacer or that Beretta you got? You want to trade them?
No, that's his Beretta. He's got it already. Got it back. Now this is surprising.
Sounds good. Let's go down too. Yeah, those strings are going to stretch for a while.
And you can really, grab this neck a little bit.
Wow. So the neck, is it the talon or what do they call the piece of the neck that comes out?
The tenon, neck
The
tenon.
tenon. Wonder how far through that comes through there.
There's your Chinese guitar right there.
It's kind of a weak neck
Yeah,
tenon.
you can't beat the shit out of this guitar.
Right.
Sounds sounds like it's a little...
It's going out of tune a little bit. Now, I had one down here last month, and
both E's go out.
yeah,
The low E goes sharp,
yeah,
the high E goes flat, so something's twisted in the neck.
right. I had one that was down here, and they didn't have the pickguard on it yet. That was optional. It would probably look better without that pickguard on there.
It's a $200 guitar.
Right.
If you got a kid, all right, you got a kid that is suddenly getting into, you know, Zeppelin / whatever it is. They want a Les Paul, but you don't have Les Paul money. Hell, you don't even have Epiphone Les Paul money.
Right.
$200, man. This is exactly.
Not bad, huh?
It looks right. It sounds okay.
Right.
For the money, you're gonna pay for it. You know.
All right, Paul. Thank you for hanging out with me down here today. We're at ZIMM'S Guitars. See you guys. Thanks, Paul.